A century ago, the world plunged into a conflict unlike any seen before. A war that shattered empires, redrew the map, and left an indelible scar on the 20th century. This is the story of the Great War, the war to end all wars, that tragically did not. The early 20th century was an era of unprecedented progress, but beneath the surface simmered a dangerous mix of nationalism, imperialism, and militarism. European powers, fueled by intense rivalry, engaged in a relentless arms race, each nation vying for dominance. Alliances were forged, creating a complex web of mutual defense that would ultimately drag the continent into catastrophe. The Triple Alliance of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy stood opposed to the Triple Entente of France, Russia, and Great Britain. The powder keg needed only a spark. On June 28, 1914, in Sarajevo, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, ignited the long-smouldering tensions. Austria-Hungary, backed by Germany, issued an ultimatum to Serbia. When Serbia's response was deemed insufficient, Austria-Hungary declared war. The intricate alliance system kicked in with terrifying speed. Russia mobilized to support Serbia, Germany declared war on Russia and then France, and Great Britain joined the fray after Germany invaded neutral Belgium. The initial enthusiasm for war quickly evaporated as the conflict descended into a brutal stalemate on the Western Front. From the trenches stretching across France and Belgium, millions of soldiers faced relentless artillery fire, machine gun volleys, and the horrors of trench life. Battles like the Somme and Verdun became synonymous with unimaginable carnage, resulting in hundreds of thousands of casualties for minimal territorial gain. New and terrifying technologies were unleashed, poison gas, flamethrowers, and early tanks adding to the devastation. While the Western Front remained locked in stalemate, the Eastern Front saw more fluid movement, but equally horrific losses between German, Austro-Hungarian, and Russian forces. The war also spread beyond Europe. The Ottoman Empire joined the Central Powers, leading to campaigns in the Middle East, including the disastrous Gallipoli campaign for the Allies. Italy eventually joined the Entente in 1915, opening another front in the Alps. Colonial troops from across the globe were drawn into the conflict, highlighting the truly global nature of the war. Several factors shifted the balance of power. Germany's policy of unrestricted submarine warfare brought the United States into the war in 1917, injecting fresh troops and resources into the Allied cause. In Russia, the strain of the war led to the Bolshevik Revolution, and Russia eventually withdrew from the conflict in 1918. Despite this, the arrival of American forces proved decisive, bolstering the exhausted Allied armies and tipping the scales against the Central Powers. By the autumn of 1918, the Central Powers were crumbling. Facing internal unrest and overwhelming Allied pressure, Germany finally sued for peace. The armistice was signed on November 11, 1918, bringing an end to the fighting. But the war's end was just the beginning of a new era of challenges. The Treaty of Versailles imposed harsh terms on Germany, sowing the seeds of resentment that would later contribute to another global conflict. Empires collapsed, new nations were formed, and the world was forever changed. World War I was a catastrophe that cost millions of lives and reshaped the course of history. It served as a stark reminder of the destructive potential of unchecked nationalism and the devastating consequences of large-scale industrial warfare. Though a century has passed, the shadows of the Great War still linger, urging us to remember its lessons and strive for a more peaceful future.